Pete, we got a game 3. We got a game 3, dude. Did you believe this was going to happen at the start of the day? I know you said on broadcast that you didn't see this coming, but I just want to bring it back up anyway, because my word, AOE are able to bring it back against the #1 seed. It's got to feel good for them. It's got to be a big boost for them, man.
Yeah, I didn't expect this at all. I'm going to just go ahead and read what I wrote on my notes. Being 8th place is rough because you're playing against FlyQuest Challengers, which as far as your first life in playoff goes, that's a death sentence. Because my assumption was just like, it's going to get packed up, call it a day, good luck in the lower bracket. But AOE, I think it was a difficult to execute draft, but I think they ran these team fights really well. Again, shout out to Rosethorn and Onat for how they played that game out basically the entire time. It was a really good look from them. And to take a game off FlyQuest, it hasn't happened very often.
I'm liking this version of AOE so much because, like, even that game 1, it was competitive in the early stages.
True.
You know, they're keeping up with some top dogs right now, and so far I'm loving it. You know what else I love, Beat?
What do you love?
I love our Subway best of 3 sidekick, which of course we got to do right now. It is a game number 3, so we got to talk about some champion picks. Beat, what do you think is going to come through this time? Give me something good, man. What do you got?
This kind of largely depends on side selection, but I'm thinking we might see Onat's Victor. I know he loves to throw that in on the R5 in the right situation, and I mean, it's a champ that I think he's the only one so far in this split who has played it, and he's got some moves, I will say. I don't like the champion, but he might play it.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you like the champion? You called me out on Rumble.
I think it's super exploitable. And that's really all there is to it.
Okay, fair enough. For me, I want to see something run back again. Now, this is kind of a flex pick, but still very meta to that regard. It's the Twisted Fate. We had seen FlyQuest try this in the past. They had given it to Surdy. It was the only time he got it. And I did like the angle Surdy was taking because it was FlyQuest fighting from behind. I think it was the Supernova Game 3 that FlyQuest got to pull that out. And even though a lot of those early plays went wayward for FlyQuest, Surdy fought really hard with that Destiny Gate to try and bring it back and get some kills. Even though the game wasn't successful, I need to see a round 2 with it, man. I need to see that Twisted Fate on the Rift one more time.
Yeah, maybe we will. I think that, I think despite the nerfs, Champions, I think he's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And I really like it as a flex pick into that top side. I mean, it's really fun to watch teams play it in the mid lane as well, because I really like the angles you can get with those first couple of ultimates while you're still in laning phase. Well, you know, we'll see. And not all set in stone. Do you have another champion, Eric?
No.
That comes to mind? No?
I did want to bring something else up, though, because I want to pull up our banned champions. I need to bring this up for the crowd because this is playoffs, and the way playoffs work is it's still going to be Fearless all the way through. The best of 3s will be Fearless. The best of 5s will be Fearless as well. So that's going to be real exciting right now, but already getting towards that 3rd game means that we're going to have a lot more champions taken out of that pool. So a lot more problem solving when it comes to these drafts that are going to be coming up.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Of course, it is going to be best of 3 until round 4 starts, be on March 22nd. So until then, you can already see how many banned champs there are just after 2 games. Imagine after 4 lines of this stuff.
I was watching the LDL. Our draft is ready, so we're going to pull that up right now. But I was watching.
I want to hear your story. Yeah.
I was watching the LDL right before we actually got into Fearless for NACL, and I watched the 5-game bangers, man. It got crazy the moment you're on game 5 and B1 is Annie. Like, that kind of shows you how deep into the trenches we're going to go once we get towards those later rounds, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I'm wondering, like, I mean, I play mid lane, so that's usually the champs I think about the most. And I'm just wondering, like, at what point are we going to start seeing champs like Vex come through? I know that's the reason I asked you, actually, if you had another champ for the whole Subway bit, was because Vex was something that popped into my mind because she did get buffed this patch. Still not the best champion, but it's something Onat is actually willing to play. So, you know.
See if anyone's willing to bring back one of Rafa's old favorites. Where's the Nidalee at? Did that get a buff recently?
It's pretty good. It's really good. It is actually really good. So I am surprised we haven't seen that.
All right, first bounce coming in. AOE are not going to allow the Varus to go over the way of FlyQuest. That Varus was really impactful for AoE's bottom lane to still have that physical damage profile, which was very nice because it's very front-loaded on the Varus, but more bans to come out. Kalista, Vi, Orianna, and Senna all not going to see the Rift.
Yeah, worth noting, Ashe has made it through. So I'm wondering if that's something we see immediately come through on the first pick for FlyQuest Challengers. I mean, still, I don't even need to talk about Ashe anymore. She's been good in support for the last couple of years. Ult good, poke good, vision good. We like it.
I press R. Stop from half a screen away, 2 screens away. I press E. I know where your jungler is now, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
First pick coming out from FlyQuest Challengers is going to be the Nautilus as a B1 now. That feels, as a B1, feels a little bit odd. What do you think about it, Beat?
My guess is that it's still a pretty popular support. You maybe want to deny the 1-2 Smolder Nautilus, which is actually a pretty good lane. That's pretty much the first thing that comes to my mind. And also, you do make it a little more dangerous to pick Ashe because Nautilus plays pretty well into those double range bot lanes.
But for AoE,
it's still a good champ, though.
This first lock-in is going to be nice for them because it is flexible, right? You can take the Rel either in the jungle role as well as the support role. And it's very impactful regardless. Rel's a great frontline champion. And if you need some protection for a little wild marksman like Jinx, it's definitely a good answer. That's going to be the ADC lock-in for AoE.
Yeah, Wixie, he played it last week against DSG. It was actually banned second rotation in the last game, game 1, I believe, when Wixie ended up going for the Kog'Maw. So they're just going to go ahead and early pick this one right away, a hyper carry for AoE's bot lane.
Yeah, I actually want to pull up the stats for. Yeah, it's only the one game that Wixie did play it, so.
I'm pretty sure they lost too, which is unfortunate, but it happens.
I mean, it was the DSG game, yeah, unfortunate. Response coming out from FlyQuest. Sachet is going to be playing rather stock standard for the scaling, and that is going to be Aphelios in the bot lane. So we're showing our bot lane right now on the side of FlyQuest, and still a little bit to be questioned for AoE.
Yeah, I feel like I've been taken back in time with the Aphelios Jinx bot lane matchup.
Well, let's take it back to the present.
I know, yeah, I was about to say, now that we're seeing the way come through, it's like, all right, guys, all right. I'm not tripping. It's 2024. New champ is coming through. I'm surprised this champ didn't see any bans, but it hasn't really made it through until this moment. And Quad, he's had some good games on it.
And the amount of things you can really do, man, just having like 9 basic skills is so wild on that champion.
Yeah.
And they work in so many different ways because you can use it for like wave clear, you can use it for utility, even has a fear attached to it. For Onat fancies himself the Ahri this time, so that's going to be the lock-in for AoE.
I mean, Onat is a really good Ahri player, so I kind of like this pick on him. I'm wondering if the Volibear doesn't get banned, we go that route. I think you can set it up pretty nicely with the Rel if that ends up being Rel jungle as well. So I think you already have some pretty good options for Onat in terms of setup. And I think he has a lot of opportunity to make some big plays. He did it last game on Nico, and this is another comfort pick for him.
Very, very comfortable pick. Has been played 3 times in the regular season with a 6.2 KDA. So, yeah, definitely going to feel good on this Ahri, trying to grab the picks he'll be looking for. I just want to see more to set up the Ahri than anything else for AoE, given their draft at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, again, it could. I think Rel does a pretty solid job of that. Volibear is actually a pretty, I won't say common, but it's a combination that we've seen pop up lately, and neither team has played Volibear just yet. So these are some things to look at.
So bans for AoE are going to be targeting the jungle pool at the moment. And same thing for FlyQuest right now, so really going after those two, both Shaden and Rosethorn. And again, this calls for the Rel. This is the call that they believe it's going to go potentially for the support role, given the fact that FlyQuest have banned away both the Nocturne and the Wukong. And yeah, that's the call right there as J4 gets locked in.
I really like the J4. It's really nice when you see mid and bot are low mobility. They don't have any movement spells, really. So there is that opportunity to get some really good ganks off in the early game, set them behind, and try and pressure them. So I think it's good. You pair that with the Rel Ahri, I think these are champions that have enough early and mid-game pressure that you can kind of give Wixie time to farm, scale up, get to that mid to late game.
And it synergizes very well with the Ahri, given the composition that we have as a whole package. Because now it's the Rel and the J4 to set up these charms. And J4 was kind of like almost the original Vi before Vi actually came out. Yes, I'm that old. Yes, I'm exposing myself right now.
I didn't even know which came out first, so fair enough, man.
But to that regard, all that means is you can pull off very, very early ganks as early as level 2 with the flag and drag to try and make your presence felt. You can take some very interesting angles, and Rosethorn has been known for rather planning out his early pathings for game plans that AoE are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think this is a solid draft coming through on AoE side. It's clear Rosethorn, as we've always seen from him, is really focused on this early game, trying to get his laners ahead. You have a good setup there for this Ahri that Onat's going to be playing, and it's kind of similar to their game 1 draft, where a lot of this is your hyper carry in Wixie, but now that the Ahri is here for Onat, he has a little more opportunity himself to be able to make plays instead of playing the Karma, where it really is all about your AD carry.
And minus the shields on shields on shields on shields that we had from game number 1.
Yeah, that too.
And, you know, I want to ask you, what do you think of how quickly the damage comes in for AoE? Because one of the more crucial things is getting Jinx excited as quickly as possible. Once you get that going through, then Wixie is basically able to pill for himself, has all that movement speed, ability to just basically run around. But is this enough front-loaded damage for AoE to get those going, at least at a timely manner?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about J4 Ahri, I'm liking the burst damage, the Rel too, to be able to isolate someone so that you get an immediate kill, so that Wixie gets his passive going. I think it makes sense, and I think this works with what they were trying to go for. And FlyQuest, you have a really strong top side here with the Jack Sejuani. That's why I like Zamudo going for this Udyr. Really safe top lane pick, considering how strong he is at the moment. But the hope is that you can use that to get early grub control. You can get some gold onto Surdy, who should be really strong in side lane, and a really big threat to Jinx later on into the game as well. So it's this idea that you have people diving onto your backline, and FlyQuest are going to be trying to dive into AoE's backline.
All right, I'm going to get it right this time.
All right.
Who got this one? Is it FlyQuest Challengers or AoE? Type in FlyC or AoE in the chat. Spam it in chat. Let us know. Make your opinion heard, man. That better?
You couldn't have done it better, Eric. That's what I like to see, man.
And I mean, this series, this is game point for either team. There is a reality, there is suddenly a world where FlyQuest fall to the 8th seed. And that is trippy to me.
Yeah, yes, that's the exact word I would use too, Eric. That would blow my brain. But it hasn't happened. So it's definitely possible. Again, AoE, they have a comp, pretty clear win condition going for them. So we'll see if they can execute this time around as well. I mean, FlyQuest have a lot of tools as well to dive the backline to make space for Sajed as we get into that mid to late game. It's going to be about setup. You are outranged a little bit. Because Quad is playing that way, you do have some options to get some pretty good poke damage out from a distance.
No kidding. The poke range of Hwei is actually kind of ridiculous, man.
The QW, was it?
Yeah.
I'm amazed every time I see that, where it's like, is that really his range? Really?
Or is that not a Xerath ultimate?
It kind of feels like it. It's not as absurd as that, but it kind of feels like it.
You know what? Going back to what was said a little bit earlier, if FlyQuest did fall into the lower bracket, I'm even more sure that they're going to win it at that point. Because Surdy and Shaden, these guys were born in the lower bracket, man. I don't know if any of you guys watched Challenger Series. Back when Surdy and Shaden were on EGC, they lost their first series and then ran the lower bracket to finals.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing run that they had. They are no strangers to that part of a playoff bracket. So it's not the end, but it would be quite the upset. Guys, this is Seed 1 versus Seed 8.
Oh, and Seed 1 is ready for first blood. But Zamudo with the sidestep. He's got the fancy feet, the dancing shoes. Zamudo will survive.
It doesn't get cleaner than that. And because Shaden shows himself, look who has an opportunity to dive bot side. Hello.
Yep, and there it is. Oh, a great denial coming through. It's still first blood nonetheless, but it's going to be a trade now, and Rosethorn has to get away. But look at that. It's WIXY who is going to stay alive, and that's the important thing right there.
Right, exactly. The trade is also the fact that Chime gets a kill. Chime gets the kill instead of Sajed, who flashed, by the way, to save his own life. And I like this from Breezy. Some good rel tech is staying dismounted to set up for the dive, because when you're remounting, it's point and click. It's a guaranteed stun, and he gives first blood to the Jinx, who this late game is all about.
Credit to stopping the flag and drag. That looks so cool for the moment, but man, it didn't really change the outcome at all.
No, and this is the power of the J4 that I was talking about early on. Now Sajed is flashless. We can see a play like this repeated for these next couple of minutes, and every time you do something like that, it just feels so much better for this Jinx.
I feel the tension over in this top side as both junglers are now hovering. That's not a jungler, by the way. That's a support.
I was going to say, yeah.
Fooled me, Breezy. Putting on. I see
There's
that
the
Smite's
jungler.
missing. I see that Smite's missing. Now here comes the other jungler as Shaden tries to find a way to Arctic Assault, but his body blocked by Rosethorn. Now Quad has to join in to try and save his jungler, but there's 3 members right there, and Onat will claim the kill.
That's just a really great connection there from Rosethorn and Breezy. You get a kill onto Shaden. You guarantee Zamudo gets this wave crash, and you just got a small lead going for yourself as AOE. Almost everything is working out for them, pretty much everything in this early game.
It's a good start for them. It's about 500 gold in the lead, but look at where that gold's allocated as well. That's on both carries. Onat got a kill, WIXY got a kill. This is the ideal start for AOE.
It really is. You can already see the gold lead that has started to build here, particularly for WIXY. A couple hundred gold has got to feel good, and that's not even considering the fact that he still has a wave to farm. Chime is away from bot lane, so Sajed is going to have to let go of a little bit of gold as well.
Zamudo and Surdy going to fight this out, but Rosethorn is waiting in the bushes, looking for another stun. Flag and Drake
they
goes
got
through,
him.
and Surdy is dead to rights. Another kill for AOE. Quad underneath the tower. Not able to grab Onat, but a close exchange. And again, AOE are ahead in kills.
And Rosethorn is just all over the place, Eric. He gets another gank off, a successful kill going through on a flashless and teleportless Surdy. I mean, he's going to be able to easily pick up 1 grub, and he's just going to go back to farming his side of the map here. Now it's a 1,200 gold lead at 6 minutes in the game, and that's not nothing. Rosethorn has been very active, and this is what we've historically known him as, a player who's so good at setting up these early game plays, and even if he can't always play from behind, when he gets the ball rolling, he's hard to stop.
Usually, the times I get a little bummed out on Rosethorn is when his plans go awry, because it really seems like he has a hard time reformulating what to do. This is not one of those cases. This is where he has perfected exactly what he wants to do. He knows where he needs to attack FlyQuest, and it's coming out big so far. Now Rosethorn using a little bit of priority in the bottom lane to grab the first Drake of the game.
Got a grub, got the first Drake, and I mean, the Drake stacking is what you really want here. I think you have a comp where it's very hard to walk into. I think FlyQuest do as well. But being able to create that Dragon Soul win condition, no matter which team does it, it feels really good. Because having to face check, whether it's Jax, Sejuani, Nautilus, or it's Udyr, J4, and the Rel, it just feels bad on either side.
See how much Zamudo's pressuring. It does get the ultimate out of Surdy. Those exchanges over there. Meanwhile, Rosethorn goes for an invade. Shaden's going to start pathing upwards. Needs to help out his top laner, who's been struggling quite a bit. The CS lead about 10 for Zamudo at the given moment. Also has that kill from earlier. And what is Rosethorn up to? Looking for some cheeky plays.
Right, and Rosethorn, Shaden hasn't showed on any vision, so I think Rosethorn is a little hesitant for this dive. If this camp gets him level 6, oh yeah, we can see it will. I think this is just another dive. Sajed doesn't quite have the flash up yet, so this could be another kill coming through here, but Shaden is in the area.
No, Shaden didn't notice the golems. Okay, are we going for it?
He knows now.
Okay, he does know. He did just spot out Rosethorn, so Rosethorn has to get out of there. Hook's only going to land on the corner of the wall, unfortunate for Chime, but Rosethorn will be able to escape.
And I think that's good awareness there from Shaden. We saw him early on recall as soon as he got those 2 grubs, and he just ran straight bot lane. just to ensure that that dive couldn't happen. I think it's a big deal too, because had it done so, I think Sejed would just be out of this game.
More exchanges with top laners, Surdy versus Zamudo. Zamudo trying to get the better of that. One thing that's nice about the Udyr is you do get a lot of sustain you can kind of utilize in this matchup.
Yeah, like what am I looking at right now?
Yeah, look at how quickly he's healing up. I mean, he's even taking the grasp on top of it, so Zamudo's going to be a hard Udyr to take down.
This champ is disgusting, man. Makes me very upset. At least Shaden is here. But so is Breezy.
Breezy. Looking for that easy, breezy, beautiful support. Oh, ultimate over on the top side isn't enough to keep Zamudo down, but Breezy returns the kill. And both top laners fall.
Oh, you even see the rocket from Wixie aiming for my kitchen, apparently. Timing was a little bit off, but that's still a good look there from Breezy to be able to get something back. So it isn't that perfect lane state that Surdy is hoping for. He doesn't get the crash. There is no plate on top of the kill they were able to secure. And I gotta credit Breezy, excuse me. I think this series, this game in particular, he's just been in the right place at the right time. And I think a player with his experience, this is kind of something we wanted to see more of from him. There were times where we thought he would be one of the supports that you'd consider next up going into LCS, but I think the split has been quiet from him for the most part. It's really good to see him go back to that Breezy we know.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I remember Mad Magical, he was always a huge proponent of Breezy, always shouting him out. And it's definitely shown. Every so often he's shown up on a few of our MVP votings. So nice for him to still have that momentum to keep AOE in this and return fire. But now it's FlyQuest are returning fire over in the top lane. They're looking for Zamudo, and they're just going to lay prey onto him. Chime flashes forward. Able to get the hook. Will chain CC him down, and one more auto should do it. It forces out another flash. No way! Surdy's able to survive.
Oh my god. That one ended up being really close. It's another kill for Chime. Doesn't feel amazing, but you still managed to make it happen. Oh my god! Oh!
What?
He jumped back into it! He's kicking himself. Nah, Surdy's kicking himself for that one. That's gotta feel terrible.
No.
And look, Sejed is forced off another wave too because Chime showed up top lane.
Oh my goodness. This is just a big cash-in coming out from Wixie. He got a few plates. Able to get some isolation time with creeps. Gets a kill from across the damn map, man. AOE, they're still coming out with these small wins. And here's another one that might be in the way as Chime's completely denied. Remember, he does not have flash. So Wixie looking for another kill. It's Breezy who picks it up instead. Shaden still looking for the chase. Now here comes Quad, but AOE have already gone on retreat.
So it ends up being 1-for-1, and Quad gets the teleport to kind of do nothing. So that feels good for AOE. Because Onat wasn't able to actually match it. He just had to walk down, the old-fashioned way. But you can see it. AOE, they're not afraid to look for these plays. They're not afraid to set up these dive angles. Wixie has gotten so much gold in this early game, not just in plays, but the 2 kills he's earned for himself.
Yes.
So the fact that you have a lead like this, it feels really good, considering AOE's comp is all about this Jinx.
Chime trying to interfere in the mid lane. Rosethorn is there, though, and a reminder again, Chime does not have flash. He burnt it earlier on the top play, and here comes AOE, another rocket just to give Wixie a little bit more gold, as Zamudo will pick up the kill.
And it's just insta-prio on the Grubs, and a furthering of this lead that Area of Effect have gotten. There's just been some good gameplay from them all a game long. Eric, it looks like it might be happening.
Oh, goodness.
I cannot believe it.
It's the first game of playoffs, Beat. Are we going to have an upset this early?
I would be amazing. But it's looking, but we're not there yet.
Yeah,
and
we're not
we
there
still
yet.
need
We're
to
not
get
there yet.
across the finish line. But it has been a great early game for them. I mean, to be fair, game 1, things were kind of slow rolling for FlyQuest, and it was one big team fight that turned it around. That is still, of course, very possible this game. With champs like Sed, with champs like the Jax, who have a lot of backline threat. Because this comp, the damage is Wixie, and then Onat secondary. If you get an early kill onto Wixie before he can get any real value, I mean, that's how FlyQuest win these fights. And they have the tools to do so.
It's just not as easy to execute as it was with the Nocturne Orianna from before.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing.
It doesn't get easier than that.
But now look at this. FlyQuest setting up early to try and deny the dragon stacking. As AOE did pull off for the first one. Time walks up. Oh, wrong position for Wixie.
Well done.
He flashes out, gets caught by the ultimate. Nonetheless, it's a shutdown going the way of Sajed. And now the charm finds its mark, looking for the kill onto Quad. Quad's in a bad way, but there's not enough damage left. You need one more orb. Here comes Cataclysm from Rosethorn. Locks down FlyQuest.
Nice charm.
Another charm onto Sajed. Sajed critically
Are you
low.
kidding me?
Breezy takes him down. Here comes Cerny, trying to bring vengeance for FlyQuest, but another knockup of Rosethorn. And somehow, some way, AOE keep racking in these kills, but Cerny will bring the pain back for FlyQuest. But one more rocket, no! Gonna miss. What a fight for Dragon.
And what a play from AOE, and the fact that they're able to trade up, even though they lost Wixie immediately, or trade even, excuse me, is so important. Means nobody can go for this trade. I gotta give credit though. Chime, Shaden, it was on site. Wixie was in hook range, insta-dead. And that is exactly how these fights need to go. But again, Onat and Breezy, really nice instant response to punish Quad, blow him up, and allow Onat to keep resetting.
Yeah, and look at these angles from Onat. Finds it onto Sajid to still get the charm in the middle of a fight. A fight as clustered as this. Like, a lot of credit for Onat pulling that off. Cerny does get the cleanup to even this out for FlyQuest, which is still going to feel good for the side laning of FlyQuest. But man, AOE are getting these fights going in their favor, and it's moments like that, seeing how scrappy they are, it reminds you of the potential you felt when you first saw this roster.
And of course, because it went even, because FlyQuest were in a great spot, we're not in a great spot to actually go for this Drake, AOE take it in the end, and are halfway towards that Drake stall, and it is an Ocean Drake. So even you don't have that much burst damage on FlyQuest's side. I think the Ocean Soul is going to be very valuable in this game. And that's something, if I'm FlyQuest, I'm not keen on letting AOE have.
As first brick goes down, it's going to be funneled all the way onto Wixie. So as we get this next recall, Wixie should be able to get a pretty bulky purchase right now. And that's going to bode more and more well for AOE, as that is kind of their primary win condition right there. Keep Wixie alive, keep Wixie doing damage, and you shall succeed.
And at FlyQuest, you're going to be able to pick up this Herald uncontested. There's going to be an opening, probably not to drop it when the next Drake spawns. So it's 4 minutes away. I know they increased the timer that you can hold the eye. I don't think it is quite 4 minutes, though. If it is, then there's that opportunity to drop it, get that fast track to the bot side river. I mean, a play as old as time, Eric.
Textbook Dragon setup.
Yeah.
Quad's still camping out there over on the bottom lane. Looks like he's going to at least try and set up plays over towards that bottom end, because Onat has been juggling around between both mid and bottom, keeping the wave shoved in. But all the meanwhile, FlyQuest still spreading themselves across this map for vision control.
Yeah, and part of it too is Quad's paying that respect, because as long as Breezy and Rosethorn aren't on vision, it's too dangerous for him to really walk too far away from his turret. So I really like that respect coming through, and it gives that opening for Onat, as he said, to kind of move around the map, float around between mid and bot, so that he can be nearby in case the play pops off. And that also makes it a little harder for FlyQuest to get that map control we've seen so often from them, not just this series, but all split.
Name of the game has been Punish Surdy. We keep going after him over on the top side. Flag and Drag comes out, but Surdy's able to flash out of it. Breezy still has a stun to bring as the teleport is channeled. Super Mega Death Rocket will not land, but Rosethorn in the Coliseum wants to bring it to Surdy. Surdy says, I got it, man. Able to grab one kill. Chime goes for the hook, but AOE are starting to find momentum in their favor. Pulled in is Chime. Excited is Wixie. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
And that wasn't even an ideal fight, but still, you're getting more gold onto this Jinx, and you can see it, how easy it is for AOE to make space for Wixie, which kind of really just gives you an idea on how fights are going to be going later on. To be fair, Sajed wasn't in the area, had an opportunity to drop a couple waves under that mid-tier 1 turret, and as he's getting closer to that second item, he's going to have a lot of damage to offer too. Quad, a lot of damage is going to be offered to him, sadly. Oh no, he's going to pay his respects.
Yeah. I imagine some of that comes from the fact that Onat didn't immediately press Q on the wave. Why aren't you clearing that as fast as possible? Something's up.
Yeah, I mean, a player has experienced his quad. You got to imagine there are a lot of small things you can infer from things like that. And it's part of why he's got such insane laning stats. All split long, he's been able to create such huge winning positions for FlyQuest Challengers almost entirely on his own by forcing really bad recalls in situations where other mids wouldn't be able to do so.
FlyQuest setting up in the mid lane. Want to take this tower and then rotate over to Dragon, stop the Dragon stacking from AOE. See little Twitch chatters coming out. AOE in the meanwhile, they're going to try and get one more cash in the name of Onat as he will grab solo turret gold over in the top lane. He's still got a minute before the Dragon does come up.
Yeah, you definitely have some time. I like that they just sacked the tier 1 and tried to respond elsewhere. Because, yeah, you get some gold on Onat, who's getting towards a second item. He has teleport and can join pretty much any time. And now my eyes are really just on Onat and Wixie. There is that bit of a lead coming through. Okay, so the second item does come through. Wixie is going all in on the damage, has the IE completed. So he is pretty strong right now. And it's looking like Sajet isn't actually able to match.
See right now, AOE are putting a big priority on their side lanes. Onat is headed towards that top side. He does have teleport, but keeping that set up does provide a lot of pressure towards FlyQuest to respond to what's going on the map, potentially pull them away from Dragon, or into a bad fight in that regard. You still have Zamudo who's putting pressure down there as well. We'll open up the Dragon, which spawns in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I wondered if they were going to actually just back off and give it up, and it's looking like they will. Not feeling strong about their position on the map right now. It is a big deal that Wixie has that second item completed over Sajed too, so no chance of being taken. The play now is just Onat, and we're going to see if they can actually get it. He knows it too.
Yeah, looking for the ultimate onto Onat. Jaden actually going to hold it, is happy getting the Spirit Rush burnt out of Onat. Will still keep pressure over onto the tower, but you don't have too big of a minion wave to really work with here, and AOE are already pressuring the mid lane.
Yeah, they got to back off immediately. This tier 1 now is under threat. We could see Shaden's payoff for holding off the ult.
30. Counter-Strike goes out, but he doesn't hop in for the stun. Shaden still holding on to the ultimate, so tempered is the aggression of FlyQuest at the moment. They're looking for the right opportunity, just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, I mean, a play like that, it's just about making space. It's the threaten of the Glacial Prison. It's the threaten of the Leap Strike after the Counter-Strike comes through. Things like that. So that you're just trying to make space so that they can't easily take the tier 1 turret. And you're just trying to limit the gold AoE can get at the moment. I mean, it's been a 3k gold lead for the last 4 or 5 minutes now, if I'm remembering correctly. And part of that is because FlyQuest are minimizing some of the losses that they're taking.
And they're really not coming up too successful with the side laning. I mean, they've only gotten 1 turret so far, and AoE has been able to play that better, especially considering where the gold is allocated to. Onat was able to grab a solo brick earlier. You saw that. He's 600 gold ahead of Quad. Chime might look to be the equalizer right now. Going to get spotted out by the sweeper, but no one from FlyQuest is close enough. Instead, they go after Rosethorn. Rosethorn will flash out of his own Cataclysm, trying to find safety, but here comes 30. Super Mega Death Rocket goes out. It doesn't land onto anything. Wixie needs to bring the damage quickly. He doesn't get the reset just yet. Still trying to get out. They're going to find the kill right onto Onat, but here comes Wixie over the wall. Sturdy will follow through. Looking for him. God damn! Sajed will execute Wixie, and FlyQuest are back in it.
And that's the comeback we expect to see from the best team in our league. A huge play comes through, and they're going to get a big swing with the Baron. We got to watch this fight again, because Rosethorn, props to him for turning a not-so-great situation into what could have been a decent team fight. But watch him. He goes back in. All of this is popping off before Wixie can even get there. You called it, Eric. That first reset doesn't go through, and that's why this fight got hard. So hard, Wixie wanted to blow the flash. And because of that, a great notice from Surdy to just immediately get on top of him because he realizes he's vulnerable.
Blown up. That is the member you need to take down for FlyQuest. Take out Wixie. And Wixie getting way too ambitious with that flash, as you mentioned, and it's gonna continue to haunt him for a bit too, because his flash is gonna be on cooldown.
That's right.
Look at that timer, 2 minutes before Dragon comes out. It'll still be on cooldown by that spawn.
And that, I mean, remember, it was a 3k gold lead, and now it is dead even. And it couldn't come at a better time. We're 2 minutes away from what would have been AOE's Ocean Soul, but now it's looking like it's going to be a little harder for them to make it happen. I mean, you can even see the difference in itemization. I actually hope production could just show us the gold difference really quick, because I want to see the difference now between Sajed and Wixie. And yeah, he's gotten ahead of him now. You can see it in the components.
Chime is looking for Rosethorn. He's going to use the depth charge onto Rosethorn. Rosethorn can still try a flag and drag. Going to look for it right now. Gets it off, and that's a pick going over to FlyQuest. You feel the momentum shifting beat. Look at the gold lead. It now belongs to FlyQuest.
I respect the attempt, but Rosethorn, he was just caught. Now they're going to be able to get another turret with it. Even though Onad is trading inside, he can't do anything more than that. Has to try and help protect this bottom inhibitor.
Now there's only 3 members. You've lost Rosethorn earlier, so you're forfeiting your inhibitor by going after that tier 2. Just like that, the base has now been cracked open, and the hopes for AOE doing an upset victory are starting to dwindle.
Yeah, it is not looking ideal. They're not too far behind. I think 1,200 gold at this stage of the game. When we talk about aggregate, it is spread out throughout 5 members, right? So it's not too impactful. I mean, again, you can see it. It's just these small differences here. To be fair, top is insane, now that I mention it. But it's fine because Zamudo's playing Udyr, right? It's chill. What matters is AOE, their comp is about securing that first kill. Onad, Wixie, they depend on these resets. And if they're getting them, things look great. But that last fight shows us what happens if they cannot.
Again, Wixie does not have a flash 20 seconds before Dragon spawns.
That's right.
And the push still coming out from FlyQuest Challengers. Leads the wave into the mid. Priority established. Dragon is going to be the next target for FlyQuest.
It's going to be an easy one, too. I mean, FlyQuest looking like they don't want to jump to it just yet. They want to get the most out of their Baron buff, maybe one more push. But granted, there's only 15 seconds left. So they're just going to go ahead and back off and start the trade.
And a lot allocated over... Oh.
Don't tell me. Okay.
Okay. There's always that moment. Kai just
breath,
wanted to scare us so badly right there. And
I know. It did. So, FlyQuest, they delay the soul. Big deal. They buy themselves 5 minutes where the top side of the map are really all that matters. And it's nice, too, because we have Baron coming up in 2 minutes, 40 seconds. That bottom inhibitor will still be down. So there is that extra pressure on AOE to get that bot lane pushed out far so that super minions aren't pouring into their base while trying to contest this objective.
Yeah. And that was a lot of the idea of AOE earlier. They were really controlling their side lanes well, but man, does having a downed inhibitor kind of change that situation.
It does.
Now it's FlyQuest who are able to at least take advantage of this, get some big purchases in right now as we get the recalls from both carries. See that coming through. More purchase over for both the Aphelios as well as the Hui. And as they come back to the map, they're coming back ready to fight.
Yeah, the big thing in my mind now is Sajed, he has the LDR. That's a big deal. This Aphelios is 3 items, and that armor penetration is very valuable against AoE. Wixie's in a similar position. It's just, will he be able to get that 3rd item by the time this Baron comes through? He's got less than 2 minutes. I'm pretty sure he's sitting on a good bit of gold, so it is definitely possible. But in my mind, that's the determining factor over whether or not he can fight. Okay, he's got 2,000 gold. It just disappeared. He's got the LDR, I'm pretty safe to say.
All right, FlyQuest. Momentum now in their hands. As they begin to ward deeply into the jungle, they're setting up vision around this Baron that will be spawning in a minute 15. AoE are the team that have to be careful now. You have Flash back available for Wixie, so that's already one good thing right now to try and keep this Jinx alive and keep the resets coming.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really think at this point, it is anybody's game. Because it really is, like 1.5k gold isn't that much. Your carries are pretty much equal as far as it comes to if you go like lane by lane between these two teams. And Wixie and Onad just need a reset. So it's just going to be how well can FlyQuest blow up someone like Wixie like they have in earlier fights? And can AoE prevent that? That's really what it's going to come down to. And I think 30 seconds to the Baron, that's where we're going to be setting our sights.
FlyQuest now hitting the map. A little bit of a lull in the action as both teams definitely playing very cautiously towards each other because we've seen winning ends of team fights from both sides, right? Now, FlyQuest pushing in for the tower, mid lane tower, tier 2, will drop. And this is more setup right now. This is more control over the jungle of AOE that FlyQuest are establishing by taking out these turrets to get it deeper in to the jungle of AOE. Find where AOE are going to be planning their attacks. Take them down. We've got 2 minutes before Dragon comes back up. See Chime waiting in the sidelines. That hook has been oh so deadly. Chime has been a great shot caller for FlyQuest. Definitely, if we do get an interview with FlyQuest after this, if they do take this win right now, I definitely want to hear where this is coming from, where the second win that FlyQuest were able to start surmounting is called from.
This is a great spot, though, for FlyQuest. This bot wave is stacking because the inhibitor is still down.
Go, hook lands, it's going to be onto the Rel, Cataclysm goes out, it's able to isolate Surdy, Surdy's in a bad way, Patached gets breezy, now Zamudo's low, has to run on out, Onat's not going to be caught, Wixie doesn't have anyone low enough to try and find a reset off of, Rosethorn has to head for the hills, and FlyQuest with no regard towards anything that AOE bring towards them, they're knocking towards the end beatdown.
The fact that Chime's flash hook misses is the only reason this game is going to keep going, Eric. Yes, 2 inhibitors will be down, but this isn't the end. Breezy is back in 9 seconds, and FlyQuest, they're just looking for these 2 structures, and they're going to walk away. Problem is, if you're AOE, you're almost certainly going to lose this Baron. The super minions haven't spawned yet, so the question is just going to be, AOE, can they get some vision around the Baron now? Because FlyQuest, no, they don't have to start it yet.
Okay, there's going to be a reset, so counter Baron is definitely not going to be easy to pull off if they want to go for that. It's just not enough sustained DPS outside of just the Jinx to melt that down in a timely manner. But here's something else that's on the table. It's going to be Dragon in the next 20 seconds. Dancing between Baron and Dragon. We've seen many teams try and pull Hail Mary victories through that, and AOE might just need one of their own.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Still, Sajed, he has no flash. That's the biggest thing to worry about. He can die very quickly if they get an angle on him, and AOE have the fast track.
And Wixie was able to keep his up from the last fight. Very crucial for AOE right now. Chime's looking for an angle on the hook. Shaden wants to get that Glacial Prison onto that back line. Onat starting to back off. AK Health remains on the Dragon. This is Dragon Soul for AOE if they're able to secure it. Rosethorn looking for the smite secure. Here comes Shaden. It is secure. Dragon Soul goes over to AOE. Now does the fight go to AOE? Jumping in. Cataclysm finds Shaden. Wixie looking for the reset. Shaden's critically low. This could be it for AOE. They're able to get 2 kills. Big reset. Now, oh my god! 30 ups in! He tries to turn it around, but it's not enough. It does give FlyQuest some breathing room, but AOE will still take the fight.
No, I really think Surdy made such a big difference there. I said it before, nobody else smites Rosethorn 2 times in a row. So that's the Ocean Soul, but what matters here really is the fact that the resets were starting to happen. It was looking good, but look at Surdy. He flashes the triple stun coming through here. The fact that he got them so low, the fact that Wixie had to use both the summoners is the reason why AOE weren't able to get more off of that. Bright side, they walk away with Ocean Soul. These long fights will get them a lot of value from that buff.
Downside, you still have 2 inhibitors down.
yeah. They'll be back before the Elder Dragon spawns, for what it's worth. But not before the Baron, because that's been up for a couple minutes.
And again, we still run into the same issue that AOE are having. If Wixie does not have his flash, you might just need a dash, you know.
Okay.
This is...
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, you know, I got the bars. This is not the comfort zone for AOE right now, but they do have a wall to protect Wixie. They're going for a fight. FlyQuest want to take it. Onat's in a good way. This might be a AOE fight to set up for the Baron. And look at this, Chime has nowhere to go. That's 1 kill over to Wixie. And like that, FlyQuest, they're going to lose their support, and AOE still got the momentum on their side. Yep. You've got to watch closely on that base. Starting up the Baron is going to be AOE.
Yeah, remember, Onat doesn't have ult anymore, but the Ocean Soul means they feel good about holding on to this Baron. Can we see
Shaden, he's going to attempt to steal. He goes for it. He's not able to
Nope.
secure it. Instead, Wixie will be the one to secure the Baron. And just like that, your jungler's dead. It's another kill going over to AOE as they turn the gold lead back in their favor.
Man, the saving grace for FlyQuest, though, I mean, we'll talk about it after, but we'll see this fight. Again, the Ocean Soul, I mean, Wixie is in a very safe position here. Shaden not able to make the steal happen. The fact that Wixie secures it is mind-boggling to me. But because of the position that AoE's base in, the fact that every wave is pushing, super minion wave or not, means that there isn't going to be as much value gained for this Baron buff. I mean, the fact that the mid-tier 1 has still been up 34 minutes into the game is astonishing in itself. It's only just now going down. To top it all off, you need another big fight like that to actually have a chance at ending the game. So FlyQuest, they have more chances to be able to close this one out.
Yeah, if FlyQuest win a team fight, there's no inhibitor in both the mid and bot lane. You can march right into the base, and that's a scary fact for AoE. That means that they have less that they can really give up to FlyQuest. You can't be losing these fights. They're playing very carefully right now. They've gotten themselves a 4K lead. They've gotten themselves Dragon Soul. They've gotten themselves Baron, but it still feels like this is on a knife's edge.
It is, and honestly, this still looks really good for AoE, because at the end of the day, if you can't blow up whoever Chime kills, or whoever Chime hooks, there really isn't anything you can make happen, because the ability to make space for Wixie on this Jinx is so good from AoE's comp.
All right, here we go. Teleport coming out. Chime goes in. Surdy cannot hop onto the back line. Super Mega Death Rocket lands onto the back of Chime. FlyQuest just disengage. They can't go for it.
Right, it's a big deal that no one goes down. Need to hold that thought, though, because Onat, he is fishing, Eric. And if he finds a charm,
Goodness.
that could be it right then and there.
This is wild right now. AoE are marching onto the base of the first seed. Out comes the charm. It lands on a Surdy.
That's one.
Surdy's dead. Onat's able to get him. That's the reset. Returning fire is going to be Sanjet. Onat has to retreat. Tower goes down. Wixie's free firing. Can they take down Wixie?
Oh my god.
He goes on a quad. Wixie's down. Quad will find the kill. And FlyQuest take the teleport. Looking for the flick onto Onat. Onto Rosethorn. Rosethorn needs the flag and drag to get away. He'll get just that as the Baron empowered respawn. Now looking for a recall. Out comes the back of the Orbital Deception. Takes down Shaden in the process. Ocean Soul is giving so much health back to AoE. Rosethorn is critically low, and Quad will go unstoppable. Meanwhile, the march towards the base. Here we go again. Another charm.
Nice.
Another kill found by Onat. He'll get a double, and now the race begins.
At this point, Sajed can only get the inhibitor, and they have to back up. This has just been an insanely scrappy game, Eric, and Onat really clutches that one out. If they were able to secure both of those kills, I mean, there's a world where Sajed might have been able to take more. And still, the game hasn't closed out yet. It's worth noting 40 seconds till the Elder Dragon spawns, and there's still a pretty solid advantage for FlyQuest because they just got this mid inhibitor taken down.
What a series, man.
Yeah.
What a series to start off round 1 of playoffs. AoE, the 8th seed. Expectations were high on this team when we saw who the teammates were, but it felt like a negative-sum deal, and now they finally figured out a way to make this click. They finally got their identity going. They're 4.5k in the lead against the first seed, and they're one more team fight away from knocking them into the lower bracket.
I mean, we've had a lot of close fights, but surely this Elder Dragon is going to be what decides it all. I love this push play.
All right, here it comes. Already looking for the pick onto Shaden. Shaden's gonna go down. You don't have your jungler. AoE are feeling the momentum. Surdy's headed right for the base.
They're gonna end the game. They're just gonna look to end it. You have to start recalling. We're gonna see it come through, but FlyQuest, I want to see them stop these backs. That's all you need to do.
They'll stop it. No, Surdy's stopping.
Oh.
Surdy doesn't have the wave.
Oh, the wave's gone.
Yeah, it was pushed in really well by AoE when they were in the mid lane, so Surdy couldn't go for the back door. That's Elder Drake for AoE beatdown.
It's Elder Drake for nothing, and FlyQuest's mid inhibitor is exposed. At this point, AoE, they can just look to push for the end of the game. Waves, these spawn timers are too long right now. We're almost 40 minutes into the game. One good team fight, you can just walk it down and end.
Best team in the league, getting close to falling. AoE, make yourself famous. make it happen, get the upset going. They're marching for it right now. FlyQuest, is this their final defense?
It's gotta be. This mid inhibitor is gone, and this Elder Dragon is still going to be in AoE's hands for a while. FlyQuest, it has to be a perfect fight.
Here we go, right underneath the tower, looking for Surdy. Onat can't get onto him. Ooh, getting very, very critically low. Already gonna pick one onto Zamudo. FlyQuest are still in this.
Oh my god!
Hasn't been grabbed yet. 2 kills go down. Sunjan's able to bring it back. Teleport over towards the bottom lane. As Surdy's looking for the back door. Onat's gonna fall right after. No way, Shaden's dropped, and it's gonna be a race right now. Chime's low. Another rocket lands on the Chime. It's a double kill coming out for Wixie. Surdy's looking for the end steal. Shaden, where is he? No, Surdy's still in there. Quad will go after Onat.
He's gonna stop the backs.
Off his AoE. They're looking for the recalls. Nexus now under attack by Surdy. Still looking to get out of dodge. Teleport channeled by Onat.
He's
Surdy's
low health
for the back door. And by God, they're doing it. Can he finish it off?
Are you serious?
Comes in. Surdy goes down. Now
Oh,
Quad's
no.
alive. Surdy's down. Quad can't bring the attacks. He doesn't have the auto damage. Quad has to bail, and this game is still going.
Okay, if Quad needs to live here. This is going to be the difference maker. But look, so Wixie canceled his back. He's going to intercept him. And a teleport is coming through as well. This could be it.
Oh, down goes Quad. Onat goes legendary. 50 seconds on the timer. And now AoE ready to make the upset of this season a reality.
It's tough. This Elder Dragon buff, I'm pretty sure it's expiring in 5 seconds. So they won't have that insane buff. So Jed, level 18, full build, has his items back. And the numbers advantage is in favor of AoE. One last fight. Surely this is the decider.
8th place, a season filled with struggles, all the doubt in the world, but it doesn't matter if you don't believe in them. They believe in themselves, and Onat goes forward. The charm is there. The damage is found. And AoE, they've done it. They've done it. As Surdy fights for his life. His life
Wait,
is
have they?
forfeit.
Have they?
And now Sajed, one last attempt. Samudo survives. They will cast stones at giants and watch them fall. The damage is area of effect.
Oh no, I think they...
But FlyQuest refuse to be the fallen. As Quad comes back up, Zamudo's gonna dance around. And now Quad gets the ace. And FlyQuest will not fall.
You gotta be kidding me, man. The game is still going. FlyQuest still have a shot at this one, and AoE has their Nexus exposed. I mean, we gotta give the shout out to Sajed. We've been hyping up this rookie all split log, and what a performance in that last fight. A quadra kill to give Quad enough time to secure the bag in that last fight.
Sajed saved that game, man. 11-3-8 right now, brings the damage. If he does not pull that off, it is all over. This series is done, and FlyQuest are in the lower bracket, but right now, hanging on by a thread, their base in flames, but they're still standing beat.
For now, Eric, we're at a point now where the gold leads, it doesn't matter. Pretty much everybody is full build, if not will be full build very, very soon. And we've seen these teams both have exceptional team fighting this game. And every time I say it's going to be one last fight, it's not actually true. So maybe this next fight is going to end it. We're 42 minutes in, Eric. And these spawn timers are outrageous. So it's just going to be about who can team fight better to close this one down. Worth noting, neither Wixie nor Sajed have flash.
Here we go, fight breaking out. This is a bad way for Breezy. He does have to bail. Ultimate's gonna land onto him. And now in retreats AoE. FlyQuest, they're able to chase AoE off of their base. They're still standing strong here. We have another Elder Drake spawning soon, but Shaden has found Onat. Onat gets dropped. That's a big shutdown for Surdy.
Yeah, that is a big deal. It's right as the Elder spawns too. Onat is so important in how this comp is going to play out. Only saving grace, Breezy has the Ocean Soul. He is going to heal up pretty slowly. You can see it happening. And Onat, he's still gone for another 40 seconds. This should be easy setup for the Elder Drake, but he does have teleports of FlyQuest. They're looking like they just want to walk this next wave in instead.
Breezy goes in, Magnet
Oh
Sword
my
on the
God.
3! But on the backline, Shaden still playing the interference, diving towards Breezy. Breezy will get dropped, Sachet still alive. Sachet cannot find the kill. He will get killed, and now looking for
Oh my God, look at 30! Look at 30! He's gonna end the game!
30! He teleports in! He will end the game! Let the entire league be put on notice! FlyQuest, take the series!
I cannot even believe that is how that game ended, Eric. We got to give some credit to AOE. The fact that they took it to a game 3, already an astonishing. The fact that they were this close to winning the game, even more astonishing. But FlyQuest, first seed for a reason. They reign supreme. And we got a replay that we need to talk about
Run
right
the
now.
replay, man.
Because, wow, I think this was maybe 5, maybe 6 fights before the game's end, but this is where everything fell apart for AOE, in my opinion. The fact was that we were really not focusing on the same thing. Some people were trying to knock down the Nexus turrets. Some people were trying to fight FlyQuest challengers. And because that happened, FlyQuest ended up getting a pretty decent fight for themselves, and it set up this insane quadra kill coming through from Sajed. And even though he didn't get the Penta, that was all we needed to see for Quad to finish it up. And because AOE weren't able to close it out then, that was where we eventually saw FlyQuest bring it back.
Coming into this, to fight FlyQuest felt like challenging the sun to a duel at dawn. How in the world did AOE pull out such a performance, being 8th seed, taking FlyQuest to the absolute limit?
True.
And just coming up short. It makes me very excited for what they're going to do in the lower bracket because they are not eliminated, but the time is for FlyQuest. They have earned a well-deserved victory and a well-deserved rest, and I want to have a conversation with them, so we're going to take a moment to throw it over a short break. When we return, we'll be joined by Chime from FlyQuest Challengers, so be sure to stay tuned.
Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.
Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. We are joined by Chime. I'm still taking my breaths, man. That was an intense game. Welcome to the broadcast, Chime. I mean, I gotta ask, how are you feeling? How's the heart rate? Mine is pumping right now. I can only imagine how it feels actually playing in that game.
Yeah, I mean, those games feel the best as a player, but also the worst when you take a step back and look at where we should be and how we like showed up today. But I mean, I'm focused right now, obviously, on winning that crazy game. So I feel good.
So we've been hearing a lot about the shot calling internally for FlyQuest, and I've heard a lot of people credit you for a lot of the macro plays that FlyQuest Challengers have been making. I definitely got to credit you for that game 1 recon flank that you did, but talk to me about those inner workings. Are you the primary shot caller, or is there any other voices that help decide how you're going to move on the map?
It's definitely a team effort. Like Quad will call the map a fair bit. I'll call the map a fair bit. Cheat-in as well will. And then, Surdy and Sajed, chip in when it's relevant for their roles. So I wouldn't say I'm just like the solo shot caller, but I do think I've been putting a lot more effort into it lately to always have a clear plan for the team of where we're playing to. But also when a game gets to these 50-minute games, honestly, the plan is just we'll see them on the midwave and fight to the death. And yeah, so.
Yeah, multiple times he fought to the death, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of times I would say, this is the last fight. The game is going to end here. And then it just didn't.
It just keeps
And
going.
what I wanted to ask you, too, was it's a bit about last week as well. Surdy had mentioned that, they were glad you guys ended up losing outside of playoffs. So because of the learning opportunity that losses offer. So I wanted to ask you kind of what you guys learned from that series against Supernova, how you applied it into today's win.
Yeah, I think I agree with what, I didn't know you said that, but I agree that, we needed to learn how to lose as a team. And if you never lose, then you lose one time in playoffs. It can be like, you just completely mental boom. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it was good for us. We had, we went into a meeting on Monday of like, everyone brought stuff of what we think like we failed to do as a team on the weekend. Because even our Mirage Alliance series was pretty abysmal. So yeah, I think it was really productive for us. And, we brought up, bringing more to the table in terms of scrims, in terms of communication. And so, yeah, it was good for us.
All right, man. Now we got to get to it. The elephant in the room, game 3. Tell me about the comms throughout that game, especially the backdoor that Surdy was able to find to end this one out. Because there's multiple times where it felt like that game 3 was over and you guys were about to lose, and then someone on your squad, whether it be Sajed or Surdy or even yourself, clutches it out. So what was going on in the voice comms, man?
I think the people who are fighting, and then we were always talking about there's 2 open nexuses. So it's, like if we win a 5v4 and we can cancel their bases, like one of our solo lanes are going to TP and vice versa. So like in a lot of the downtime, we're sweeping our base, making sure there's no wards. And then every team fight, the second we get 1 kill, we don't need to like, outhands them. We can just end the game and the rest of us cancel their bases. So generally it was just like, yeah, stop this person. And yeah.
Fair. I mean, you guys did end up winning the series, and it was so you'll advance in the upper bracket. But I do want to ask, this was definitely a tough one from you before going live. You even expressed how this didn't really look like a 1st versus 8th seed matchup. So I wanted to know if, just right off the bat, you had any takeaways from today's series that you guys are going to try and work through going forward in playoffs.
Yeah, I think one thing is, when you're in playoffs, the matches matter more, and you can't just kind of play relaxed like regular season. And I think that like bit us a little bit today. Like our games were way slower than we were, and I think throughout the regular season, just outlaning people straight out happens less now. I think also as people become like more consistent as a team, you can't just bully people over like that. At least in the way that we were doing some games. So I think that's like the biggest thing is just like we played a little bit too slow today with that.
Well, it's good to always take away whatever you can from some of these games. Even with this victory, it was a very hard-fought one and barely able to cross that finish line and stay in the upper bracket. But off of that note, congratulations on the victory. It was a very enjoyable series. Do you have any shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out my girlfriend for watching this series and, not having a heart attack, and my friends and my parents also for watching, and my family. So thank you.
All right, and thank you so much for joining us, Chime. We're going to take a moment to throw it over a short break. When we return, we'll get ready for series number 2. You're not going to want to miss it. I need a break, man, so let's go.
Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.
Before this guy won this, he actually won this. And now these guys, they're trying to do the same.
He's looking for the killer instinct. He's going in. He finds 2. He finds 3.
Masu, you are utterly ridiculous. This guy is also trying to do what that guy did. And he didn't win one of those, but he did win this.
Welcome to the new era. A toast to our champions, disguised.
This guy played one split of LCS and then made semis at Worlds.
It's been a long journey, but I'm happy to be here now.
He's always been really good, but he finally made the comeback. Oh, and he did it with this guy. This guy won Academy, and he had some dreams.
I want to be like the best NA mid laner to go to Worlds, right?
Dokla, however, very, very low. Reinforced by the Senna ultimate, and the Pop Blossom is so awesome!
This kid? Yeah, this kid. He actually didn't win an Academy, but a lot of people thought he was good, and boy, were they right. This guy made Worlds his very first year as a player. It took him a while to get back. He even played with this kid. But then, they did all of this together.
Nobody thought they'd win LCS! Nobody thought they'd beat G2! It's time to change your minds!
You know all of these names, but do you know the names of who's next? The future of the LCS starts right after the LCS. Welcome to Challengers.